All right, cool.
Good to go?
Yeah, you see I got Atlanta in the background.
I see. I see. I miss
ATL,
Atlanta.
shout ATL, shout it.
Well, first, I want to thank you for taking the time to jump on my live. I feel honored.
Yes, yes.
I know how busy you are, how important your time is. So I appreciate you taking the time to jump on my
Definitely. All right, we're good now.
live. We good now?
Yeah.
So let's just jump right in. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right. So, who is Dr. Rick Mathis? For the people who've been living under a rock for the last 20 years, can you tell the people who Dr. Rick Mathis
Sure. Dr. Rick Mathis is a filmmaker that's from the west side of Atlanta, Georgia, by way of Valdosta, Georgia. Born a country boy, moved to the city at age 14. And moving to Atlanta was just like, what can I say? It was a culture shock for me because I go from this all white small town to this big city country town with all black people. So from the west side of Atlanta, went to Frederick Douglass High School and went to Fort Valley State. Shout out to them Wildcats. Graduated from Georgia State University. You know what I'm saying? So that's who Rick Mathis is, a filmmaker from Atlanta, Georgia, the West Side to be exact, and really just enjoy storytelling.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I want
Mhm.
some of you, I know we're going to touch a little bit on the new projects and what you're working on in the future, but I want to talk about your past projects. Can you just tell me a little bit about your journey into filmmaking, how you got into filmmaking?
Yeah, sure. So I got into filmmaking. I used to perform, run around the city and perform spoken word poetry all the time. Started at like the Yin Yang Cafe, the Patty Hut, and Yin Yang Cafe is a famous spot that a lot of big people in the music, like the neo soul, they came through the Yin Yang. Everybody from India Ree, um, Erica Badu had her first listening party. I'm talking about the first listening party that she ever did when she was signed to Universal. She had a first listening party at the Yin Yang Cafe. So so yeah, so got started with that. We was performing poetry around the city, and at the same time, I'm going to school at Georgia State for a degree in music management and marketing. And so a lot of the poets started inquiring when they found out. He was like, "You going to Georgia State for music management? Can you manage me? Can you be my manager?" So I started managing a lot of poets, and that led me to a career as a manager with HBO's Def Poetry, where I was responsible for bringing a lot of the Atlanta talent to to the forefront to HBO's Their Poetry. And from there, went on and won a Tony Award, a Peabody Award, an Emmy Award with one of the artists that I was managing. And that led to a global tour. And from there, it was like, okay, after this global tour, what's next? So I partnered with a Emmy Award winning filmmaker, and we produced a series called Word. And the first installment was Poetry on Fire, and it included a lot of poets from HBO's Their Poetry, as well as the last poets, Amir Baraka, Sonia Sanchez, Professor Griff, Big Rule from the Organized Noise. It was a host of people that was on that series, man. We did a four-part series and worked with a lot of dope on that project. So that led to my film career. That was my first time, I ever produced a project. I didn't know how to shoot, I didn't know how to edit, but I did know how to write. I didn't know how to produce and bring people together. And I had a vision for the story that I wanted to tell and create with that poetry series.
Thank you. Thank you. So after 20 years in this industry, now being recognized as a documentary king, what inspired you to do documentaries?
What inspires me to do documentaries? Well, let's start with the name, the documentary king. So I call myself the documentary king, not to boast and brag to say I'm the best person producing documentaries, but what the reason why I call myself the documentary king is because I utilize these documentaries to checkmate the opposition. So that's my strategy. That's what I'm doing, utilizing these documentaries to checkmate the opposition. Um, so with that, going out here and getting inspiration just from day to day living, looking out of my window, looking outside into the world and seeing what's going on there. People need information, they need leadership, they need to be motivated, they need to be encouraged. And that's the purpose of a lot of the documentaries that I produce.
Right. Can you talk a little bit about your series, Black Friday?
Black Friday. So Black Friday was a series that I produced back in 2015. We released Black Friday, and man, it was a quite a ride, man. That documentary series had everybody from Dr. Claude Anderson to Hill Harper, Malcolm Jamal Warner, Cynthia Bailey, Terry J. Vaughn. It had a host, Demetria McKinney. It had a host of people in there. And it started with this question right here. If you die right now, would you leave bills or benefits? Is the opening question for that film. Um, so we did a three-part series with that. We produced Black Friday the remix, and Black Friday Part Two, where we toured the globe. We went everywhere from Barcelona, Spain, where we saw the Black Madonna, to Cabo, Mexico, where we were in the pyramids, and we were on top of the pyramids. And where else did we go? We went to Ghana and
Mhm.
South Africa. So it was called the Living Legacy World Tour. So we really went on a world tour and filmed a lot of different places. We were on Wall Street in New York, in the heart of Manhattan, the financial district. So yeah, that was a great series. I mean, I really enjoyed it producing that.
Yeah, pretty significant. So that film and that series specifically spoke a lot to entrepreneurship. It talked a lot about legacy, and that message was specifically targeted to our people, to Black people, even though that's a message, right, for anybody. So why that message for our people?
Man, I mean, because at that time, black people gross annual income was around $1.2 trillion, right? So really the heartbeat of that film was at $1.2 trillion, just to put in perspective how much money that is. And that's the amount of money that goes through black people's hands on an annual basis, right? So that income is more than Canada's economy for the year that black people have. That income is more than the continent of Australia for the year. That income is the sixth largest income over any nation in the world. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at nations at the time, it's 1.2. I think it's like 1.8 or something like that. And it's still roughly the same numbers. You know what I'm saying? It's still more than Canada's economy for the year. It's still more than the continent of Australia's economy for the year. And it's still enough to be around the sixth largest nation in the world, that economy. So the reason why we had that conversation is we had that conversation to put in perspective exactly how much money was going through black people's hand. Because when you look at our community, it doesn't look like that amount of money flows through black people's hand. You know, we just celebrated Martin Luther King's birthday, right? But if you look at any of the streets in the US where the street is named after Dr. Martin Luther King, 9 times out of 10, that street is in the most rundown neighborhood, and, you know, it's a very, desolate community, you know what I'm saying? So for him to be as great as he was and still is, and the sacrifices that he made, like giving up his life, which is the ultimate price, that street in every city that you coach to should look like, you know, Beverly Hills, should look like Buckhead. That should be a street that should be held in high regard and high reverence. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, those are some of the things. That's the reason why I produced the film Black Friday, is really to shine a spotlight on it and say, hey, we got to do better. You know, we need to have these financial literacy courses in class, and you know, and talk about financial literacy, because I think, you know, it's such a disgrace that financial literacy really isn't taught, you know, in grades 1 through 12. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So, yeah, so that was the reason for that film, to kind of shake people up and say, hey, this is what we need to be doing.
Exactly. You talked about our economics kind of on a global scale, right? That all of us accumulatively. But I think for so long we looked at it on such a micro level, right? How much money we make, how much our bills are, how much our expenses are per month. So we as Black people, I think we need to start having different conversation around economics and what our buying dollar and what our financial impact is cumulatively, right? And
Hmm.
so that kind of leads into B1, new project.
Yeah.
B1 premiered in August last year, and it's available
Mhm.
now. And so, can you kind of speak to kind of the build up, how we got to B1 from Black Friday?
Yeah, of course. So I did a joint venture with Dr. Boyce Watkins, and you know, he had been promoting B1, saying B1 for years. And he was inspired by a guy named Jason Black. Jason Black was one of the first people that started using the term B1, which I think he was inspired by Marcus Garvey. And Marcus Garvey said race first. Jason Black said black first. So Dr. Boyce Watkins picked it up, and you know, he asked me to produce this documentary with him as a joint venture. And you know, we started that, and when was it? We started that in September, I want to say, of 2021. And you know, from there, it took about a year to produce it, and we released it 2023, August of 2023. And you know, we had a sold out show in Atlanta at the New Black Wall Street.
So
And it
that
was a 4-day event. It was an amazing 4-day event. Isha, you were there. You know, was beside me, my co-producer, you know, my wife producing a lot of the content. So I definitely appreciate you. So, you know, it was amazing turnout, amazing experience. We got a lot of pictures. We have a lot of video from that. And that will go down as one of the great productions, I think, at New Black Wall Street, and that I produce.
yeah, it was absolutely monumental. You are so humble about just kind of just that event and what the release of B1 means, not only for you, but for our community. And so you
Mm.
are so humble in that regard. We're going to dig into that and kind of talk about B1. Can you kind of give us kind of the premise of B1 or synopsis for the
Yeah,
film?
so the synopsis of B1 simply is B1 is a film that I produced with Dr. Boyce Watkins, and kind of takes you on a journey, starting with this question here, and that question being, what is it going to take for Black people to get on code and put Black people first? Now, we're not just talking about finances, but we're talking about putting Black people first in all areas of our life, from health to relationship to media, the type of information that we consume, to having our own constitution, the Black Constitution, which we talk about in the curriculum that we wrote. So, so that's what B1 simply is about. What is it going to take for Black people to get on code and put Black people first? Because for so many years we put other races before us. You know what I'm saying? So now it's time that we put ourselves first, and that has nothing to do with that we're not liking anybody else or any other races, but we're just saying, hey, if you look at the numbers and you look at statistics, you know what I'm saying? It shows that Black people are number one when it comes to health diseases, from diabetes to high blood pressure. Black people rank at the bottom of the list when it comes to like finances. So we're ranked number one in all the negative categories. So I asked the question, when are we going to put us first? You know what I'm saying? When are we going to put Black people first? So that's what this film is about. You know what I'm saying? It's about putting us first.
Absolutely. And I want to kind of dig a little deeper about some of those disparities and how you address that in B1. But first, I want to talk about, you kept saying, be on code, get on code. Can you kind of speak to what that means, what it means to be on code?
So in the film, we wrote it starts with the definition of what it means to be on code. And being on code, as you just put there on the screen, it simply means being sensitive to what the Black society needs to survive and thrive, and putting those needs first and foremost before our personal needs, right? So if I'm a person that's saying, hey, I want to get on code, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at how can I get on code. I'm going to assess my what I'm doing and my life and say, what am I on code with? What am I off code with? And really have an honest discussion about that. You know what I'm saying? We all have some areas in our life that we need to work on. We also have some areas in our life that we need to be motivated in, but we also have some areas in our life that we're doing pretty good in, right? So we need to look at that and say, hey, I'm going to get on code with this. I'm going to get on code and do better in these areas. And if you have friends that are not of, the Black ethnicity, then they should want to see you and your family and your race of people in a better situation. And if they can't get down with that, then guess what? They might not need to be your friends. You know what I'm saying? If you can't say, hey, I'm focusing on putting Black first, and this is what it means to put Black first. We've ranked number one in all the worst categories. So you as a friend, if you're Caucasian, if you're Asian, if you're Mexican, can you help me and my people get on code? You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Because Black people have gone through a certain amount of trauma that no other race on this planet has gone through, right? So since we've gone through that, we are a little what my grandma used to call shell shock. You know what I'm saying? Shell shock, man, we're a little crazy. You know what I'm saying? So since we're a little shell shock, you being my Mexican friend, you being my Asian friend, help me and my people to get on code. You know what I'm saying? I know that's a lot to ask, but at the same time, if you love me and you're sincerely my friend, then you're going to help me with that. You know what I mean? You should want to see me in a better light. You should want to see me win. You know what I'm saying? Because when I win, you win. So you should want to see me win.
Yeah. And I think for so long, just as the people, you kind of spoke to that a little bit earlier, we have been so compassionate and supportive for every other race, every other culture that exists. But for some reason, when it comes to beginning to put ourselves first, we feel guilty.
Exactly. So see, when it comes to us, like if you look at Black people, right? And just be honest, right? We're coming up on Black History Month. So we're about to go into this month where Black people invented this, Black people invented that. And I'm glad we invented all of this stuff, right? But at the end of the day, how much does that transfer and trickle down to the next generation to where we don't have to start from ground zero? Black man invented the traffic light, but we don't get residuals from that as Black people. A Black man invented the ironing board, but we don't get in residuals for that. A buddy of mine, Haziq Ali, his grandfather invented the light bulb, which Edison now gets credit for, but he ain't got a check, one residual check from that. And it's a cat that I personally know who granddad invented this, man. So at the end of the day, we can say, yeah, we invented all of this stuff, but at the same time, uh, when we gonna start getting a residual, a check at the end of the day, because we live in this capitalistic society, when are we gonna start getting a check from this stuff? You know what I'm saying? Imagine like with the turntable when the first black DJ started scratching on the turntable, right? Imagine if he had patented that idea and invented Technique turntables, and his kids are getting a check from that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we really gotta. That's what I mean when I say put black first. You know what I'm saying? Level the playing field, because anybody in their right mind could look at the situation and know that the playing field is not level. You know what I'm saying? You can look at most black people and know that most black people are not proud of being black. They don't put black first. You know what I'm saying? They say anything other than putting black first. You know what I'm saying? But when you start putting black first, other people gonna put black first. So you need to start putting black first. When you start doing that, you're gonna have a sense of pride, and the universe is gonna support you for putting black first. You know what I'm saying? So that's what time it is. That's where we are right now.
That's real. And you touched on a couple of things with that. One, you talked about intellectual property, right? We understand why 50, 60, 70 years ago, we were prevented from owning our intellectual property, applying for copyrights, applying for patents and trademarks. But now it's a very, very different time. And so we're going to do another live that's going to talk about business structuring, what it is to be on code with your business, what it is to put yourself and your family in position to start to secure generational wealth, because that's kind of what you're speaking to. When you use the example with the turntable, that's generational wealth. Oftentimes you see families, elite families, put themselves in position to create generational sources of income, not lifetime sources of income, but generational sources of income that transitions over 2, 3, and 4 generations. And we need to start doing that for ourselves. It's a good time now because Black folks are making a lot of cash. We're making a lot of cash, and we are not structured properly in turning that cash into real money. So we're going to talk about that on a different live and dig a little deeper into that.
Yeah, so it's time that we talk about those things and really start to put, proper structures in place so that we can create the wealth that we deserve and we can transfer that to the next generation. So, yeah, and it's a great time now with this shift that's about to happen in this revolution that's happening in AI. You know what I mean? So there's a shift coming, but what side of that shift are you going to be on? Because at the end of the day, money does not evaporate, right? So when they say there's a recession or there's people aren't spending money, it doesn't mean that money is evaporating and going in poof into the thin air. It means that money is not trickling down and is being transferred from one place to another place, right? So you just have to get in the flow of that transfer and know where that money is, how that money is being transferred. And that's what's happening in this AI revolution that's taking place. A lot of people are afraid of it, but you're going to have to get in the flow of that transfer because a lot of jobs are going to be deleted as a result of AI. A lot of things are going to change and a lot of money is going to shift. But like I said, when there's a depression, when the money isn't trickling down, money doesn't evaporate; it simply transfers, and we have to know that it transfers.
And to that point, and in the same vein, we have been educating people for over 20 years about that very wealth transfer that happens when there's an economic shift. You're absolutely right. money doesn't just disappear, it moves from one place to another. And we are approaching one of the largest wealth transfers that has ever been experienced in history.
Mhm.
And we are already starting to see that within this AI revolution. And so I'm glad you brought that AI up because I want to jump into that. I know we're going to talk a little bit about the curriculum later on, but I want to go ahead and just jump into AI here. So you used a lot of AI to create V1 the movie. Can you kind of speak to how you implemented AI into filmmaking for this project?
Definitely. And I'll start with this, as we spend a lot of time studying about AI, reading magazines, reading books, buying books, and really, wrapping our mind around this thing. So if you have a pen, I want you to write these two names down. These are two names that we've become very familiar with. Those names being Geoffrey Hinton, and that Geoffrey is spelled Geoffrey. Hinton, Hinton. Geoffrey Hinton and Kai-Fu Lee. So Kai, Khai, Fu, Fu, Lee, Lee. So Geoffrey Hinton is who is considered to be the father of AI. This is a gentleman that went to college for AI back in 1972. Yes. He went to college in London for AI back in 1972. Now, I know I've been to college as well, but there was nothing on the curriculum that said I can go into the field of AI at the time I was in school. And this was 20 years ago. Graduated 20 years ago. You know what I'm saying? No, I don't look like it. Black don't crack. You know what I'm saying? But 1972. The oracle of AI, Kai-Fu Lee, is an Asian guy that's considered the oracle of AI. And he's been, starting these companies and turning these companies into billion-dollar corporations as a result of the data and the information, that he's capitalized on AI. So those two guys, I want you to write those names down and actually watch videos and study what they've done and kind of project, where this thing is going. Because at the end of the day, the person who's going to win is the person that's going to be the number one problem solver. The person that's going to problem solve, meaning, okay, AI is disrupting this industry right here, the film industry we'll use. How can we predict where it's going, and how can we problem solve and say, okay, this is the problem that has been caused, and as a result, we're going to solve this problem by A plus B equaling C. You know what I'm saying? So that's the person that's going to win, the person that's going to be able to problem solve. So by studying those names and those people, you're going to see where this thing is going. Because a lot of their understudies, a lot of the people that studied under them are creating a lot of the platforms that you see today. And I used a lot of AI in the film V1, everything from audio correction to creating images, which you see a lot of AI images now that are being created. Organizing the footage. We had about 50 different interviews that we did, each interview about 45 minutes to an hour. And what we did was we took those interviews and we organized them in a manner to where we can find different things that were said in the interview. Because as a filmmaker, one of the most difficult things is going back and finding who said what at what particular point and how to integrate that into the film that you're producing. So if a person said love, you need to be able to go and find who said love and what did they say. If a person said history, we need to be able to go and find who said history and what did they say, and how does that fit into the context of the film that we're producing. So that's really what it's about. You know what I'm saying? Utilizing AI and becoming what's called AI adjacent, meaning you're using AI to enhance whatever it is you're doing. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I've been able to use AI in filmmaking. I will continue to use it, in filmmaking and other areas and other things that I'm doing because, I mean, it's it's amazing the amount of time that it saves. Like when I produced the film Black Friday, this type of AI and technology wasn't around. So what I literally had to do was I had to create these sheets of paper, right? So if I interview Isha, I would go through the interview and I would write time codes on what stood out in that interview. And I would write time codes and I write a little blurb. She said da 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 da. And then I go to the next time code. She said da 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 at this time code. So I had all of these notes, this stack of notes that I thumb through the paper and see, okay, who said this? Okay, she said this here. Okay, yeah, let's use that. Let's go back and listen to that. But now with AI, I don't have to do that. I can simply type on the computer and it'll populate. It show me everybody that said whatever word or whatever sentence or statement I'm looking for. So AI has really saved me a tremendous amount of time and it's helped me to become more efficient as a filmmaker in what I'm doing.
Well, one of the things you mentioned was AI adjacency, right? That's kind of something that we talk about very often, almost daily. And
Mhm,
AI adjacency is your ability to partner with AI to make what you do more efficient, right?
mhm.
So as a creative, though, as a creative myself, when I think about AI adjacency, the one thing that continues to come in my mind is AI dependency.
Mm, okay.
So, as a creative, do you think that AI or us aligning ourselves with AI makes us more dependent on AI?
Well, I mean, I think if you look at it, right, it's kind of like the microwave, right? So if you look at the microwave, you can put something in that microwave and it'll heat it up real quick and you get it. Now it's not gonna taste like that home cooked meal 9 times out of 10, but you're gonna get something that you can eat and you're gonna get it fast, right? Boom. That's the shortcut. That's you're there in a couple of seconds. So you can use AI as a microwave, or you can use AI as a stove. And what I mean by that is you can take your time and produce something that's quality, that's well thought out, where you've put the time in and it'll show that you've put the time in and you created a masterpiece. Or you can do the microwave thing where you run it through AI real quick and boom, you produce something. You might create a picture, right? And that picture might have, instead of 5 fingers, it might have 8 fingers. You know what I'm saying? You're seeing it on those AI pictures. Instead of having one ear, you might have an ear and a half.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? So it has its flaws, right? You just can't say, okay, I'm gonna use AI and it's gonna come out perfect. You still gotta take your time to study the craft, master the craft, so you can perfect it and you can create, something in excellence. You know what I'm saying? In black excellence is what I call it. So yeah, so that's kind of how I see it. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? It could be a microwave or it could be your stove.
That's
However
it.
you choose to use it.
So, as creatives, again, we still have to nurture our crafts. This
Yes.
is not, to your point, that microwave that will just do the work for us. We still have to spend the time, whether you are a writer, whether you produce content, you still got to get in the trenches, right? Plan out your content and do
Mhm.
the things that are necessary as creatives. So this doesn't take away our ability to work and to be creative.
Exactly. It doesn't. It doesn't. It's gonna help you. It's gonna enhance whatever it is you're doing. It's gonna help you to be more creative because at the end of the day, the AI, whatever AI platform you're using, it's only gonna do that one thing. You know what I'm saying? So just like you have a robot that may cook, in some of these restaurants, they have I think they just opened a restaurant in I want to say Ventura Beach, California, that's totally robotic. Like there isn't one human in there from when you go in to place your order to preparing the order to receiving your order. everything operates AI. That's crazy, right?
Mhm.
But each one of those AI robots or mechanisms, if you will, has one specific job that they do. And that could be picking this up, putting it down, picking this up, putting it down. And that's primarily what AI does. It perfects one thing and it does that one thing in perfection.
Mhm. It does, but it's evolving. It's evolving fast.
So what do you think? You think it's gonna be where AI can do multiple things?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that the technology, and for people that don't know, I know we really just started having a conversation around AI, and consumer access to AI really has just been in the last, say, 3 to 5 years. But industries have been using AI since the 70s.
Okay.
Okay. So the technology that we access on a very consumer level is very basic. And so what companies, especially tech companies, the artificial intelligence that they are using is on a whole nother level.
Mhm.
And so as time progresses, and I've had the privilege of watching the business side of it and how fast businesses are kind of developing and revolving like that. And I'm gonna speak to a company. It was a recent announcement by 11 Labs. I'm gonna speak to them too. But the speed in which it's being developed, I think we're gonna see very soon just this kind of multi task artificial intelligence beginning to be implemented.
So what are some things you see that will be multitask? Do you think the AI robot will be able to reason and make decisions and all those kind of things?
So there is some discussion around this very this deep learning model, artificial intelligence model, that has the ability to utilize emotion when it's appropriate, and kind of one of the things that bots, and you use ChatGPT a lot. I want you to speak to that too. But one of the things that the bots don't do well on a consumer level is input emotion, right? So if I say, write an email that's going to be my letter of resignation, it's going to be very like point by point. There won't be any emotion to it. It won't be empathetic. It won't kind of express how you feel about your job. And so we are seeing, well, we are reading. They say it don't exist now, but they're talking about it, so it's somewhere. This deep learning model that's able to kind of input emotion and empathy and understand euphemisms. And so I don't know, Dr. Mathis. I think real soon we're gonna start seeing AI, Dr. Mathis.
Hey, well, I'm ready for it. I mean, I'm looking at the opportunities as well as the threats. How can I use this to cook my food? How can this cause an electrical fire and burn my house down? You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at both sides of it. So, and
So,
that's what I challenge, the people that are listening today. Look at the opportunities as well as the threats.
mhm.
How can you utilize it to enhance what you're doing? And what are the threats of using it?
So, and I mentioned a company called 11 Labs. There was an announcement made 2 days ago. 11 Labs started with 5 employees. They went to 40 employees in a year. Within 12 months, they went from zero to $100 million valuation. And 6 months from then, they are at $1.1 billion valuation. So in 18 months, this company went from zero to $1.1 billion valuation because of AI technology. So 11 Labs, they are kind of the engine behind that voice AI. So you know how we're seeing little videos, they take Biggie Smalls' voice and then take lyrics from a Chris Brown song and put them together. This is the engine behind that technology. So we're talking about 18 months to $1.1 billion valuation, something that under normal circumstances would have took generations to establish, right? So speaking to that monetization, how has AI affected the monetization of film?
Well, I mean, you just seen it with the strike. I think that's what a lot of that's what the strike was about in film, because the producer were saying that we can use AI to write these scripts. We don't need as many writers. Well, we needed 30 writers, now we may need 10. You know what I'm saying? So where we needed a 20-person production crew, we may just need 5 or 6 people on this production. You know what I'm saying? So everything is decreasing where you may have needed a photographer to create this movie cover. Now you can create that same movie cover in AI and Runway ML or something like that. So yeah, so in Mid Journey, you know what I'm saying? So with these particular platforms, it's making things a lot easier. And I'll be able to produce films a lot quicker, a lot faster by utilizing AI. There are certain editing programs and platforms, apps and softwares that I can use now to assist with editing, because as a filmmaker, that's generally where a lot of the productions get bottlenecked in,
Mhm.
in the editing room. So if you're able to use AI to edit a lot of this stuff, then guess what? Now you can become more efficient, because you have this AI bot that's not going to talk back, gonna take time off, not gonna be at the club when they supposed to be editing. You know what I'm saying? You just input what you need and do 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 do,
Mhm.
they edit it
Mhm.
like that,
Just like it.
literally within seconds or minutes. It's amazing to me. I'm like, wow. Yeah.
So, are there any new revenue streams that you see, even in filmmaking, coming from this AI technology revolution?
Yeah, so just yesterday I was reading this article that said how to get rich with GPTs. And GPTs is stands for generated uh, pre-trained transformer. So it's like Chat GPT. It's a robot basically, but it's kind of like when we started with apps. So how a lot of people got rich off of apps, there's coming a time and an opportunity where you can get rich off of GPTs. So I encourage each of you to look up what GPT is, how it works, how it functions, and the opportunities again in the realm and the area of GPT. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So look at that. You know what I'm saying? And become familiar with it. I'm becoming familiar with it, looking at what it means and what's the definition of it.
Yeah.
We can't be afraid of this stuff. We got to touch it, we got to feel it, and we got to see how it functions and how it's being integrated into our livelihood, into our lifestyle. We got to. I see a gentleman just wrote in the chat, they got AI in truck driving now. I know
Yeah.
because James just wrote that in the chat. Because Elon Musk, I think it was about 2 years ago, where he tested the Tesla truck that drove from New York to California.
Mhm.
Human, just an AI bot in the truck. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
so he tested that, and it was successful. So those are the things that we got to look at, because it's here, people.
It's here.
It is here. And guess what?
You
We
know,
gotta be on the cutting edge of this thing, Black people. I'm telling you, get motivated, study it, read it, learn it. Don't be afraid of it. Embrace it, touch it, feel it. It's here. Just like we had the rotary phone, now we got the cell phone. You know what I'm saying? It's here.
Yes.
I was
And
looking at a phone. I was down at my cousin Don's house the other day, and he got one of the old phones with a 10 cent on there. I say, hey man, you dropping a dime on me. You dropping a dime. I see the phone in there. You know that's where that came from. You know, drop a dime on them. When you drop a dime, you call the police on the person. Or you call and you stitch on the person. You know what I'm saying? It's there. So we're no longer using that rotary phone. We're no longer using the payphone. It's obsolete now. The payphone is obsolete. It's a movie prop. Nobody uses the payphone. Nobody have home phones in their house anymore. So that's where we're going with AI. We're going to another level. So y'all got to be prepared and go to this next level.
I don't even see the movies and film. I mean, the phones and films no more.
Well, sometimes they use them as props, depending on what time setting.
What time period the film is for.
Yeah, the time period and all of that. So, so they still use them with stuff like that. But nah, it's done. Wrap.
It's a wrap. Just as a best practice, I would just recommend that everybody take an hour out of your day and digest some AI content. Be familiar with it, understand how it's developing, how it's changing, and look and see for development in your area, your field, whatever it is that you do, whether you are an accountant, right? We are seeing artificial intelligence in tax preparation. Just like Uncle Richard said, they got AI driving trucks. In my city, in Dallas, we piloted Amazon package deliveries by AI robots. They pilot that in Dallas. And so that's how we're here now. And every single industry will be affected. Do not think that your industry will not be touched.
Yeah, because it will be. I'm gonna tell you, the only jobs that's kind of safe right now is the barber, the plumber, the electrician, like jobs that are skilled jobs. You know what I'm saying? Those are some of the only jobs that are like safe for the moment.
Now, you know I'm a realist, that we go back and forth about this AI situation. But you recently had an issue with your BMW. And you taking your vehicle to a traditional mechanic did not work. Why? Because your vehicle is intelligent.
It's a computer.
It's a whole computer. And so all of the U.S. car manufacturers have made a commitment to going to these electric smart vehicles. And so, sorry to tell you, your traditional mechanic, if he ain't studying AI right now, he's going to have a problem.
Yeah. Or he can be studying it, but he still got to get the tools and the software to diagnose it. Like my car, you know what I'm saying? It totally shut down. And it made me realize that everything is digital. Everything is electrical. Like I couldn't even get in the trunk to where the battery is because I couldn't open the door. Everything is computerized and electric. So I couldn't get in the trunk to open the door to lift this one thing up to see, what's going on with the battery. So it was just crazy. It made me want to go back to an old 72 Cutlass, man. You know, put oil and water in the car and keep on moving down the road. You didn't have all this computerized stuff. But when I took it to the BMW shop, they were able to tell me the day that it started having the problems by looking in the key. You know what I'm saying? By looking at the computer chip in the key. The day that it started having problems, how many times it shut off, they was able to tell me all of that. So I'm like, man, this is crazy.
Yeah, but
you make me want to go back to that 72 Cutlass, though. I'm really
right. But then the issue is going to be finding parts for that 72 Cutlass, right? And something happens. And so, whatever it is that you do, you need to be looking at right now how technology is developing in your industry. Target last year rolled out machines that will give you a manicure in a Target. So even my nail technicians, AI,
They coming for your job.
they coming for you too.
Yeah, so that's so that's interesting. So yeah, man. So that's really what we have to do and learn how to use AI. Like I utilize AI as a filmmaker in all aspects, and it helped me to be more efficient, with creating B1 the movie. And I invite you to visit b1themovie.com and check out the film, man. It's really, really inspirational, really motivating, really thought provoking. It really makes you think about what can I say? It makes you think about like what it is that we need to do in order to put Black first. And what we need to do, and I say one of those things in putting Black first is just being timely and being relative, when it comes to AI and being on the cutting edge so we can really see, how to maneuver and how to navigate and get to the copyright office first, get to the trademark office first, get to the patent office first, and secure some of these IPs and things like that so we can pass it down to the next generation. That's what it's about.
That's real. And when you said that, it made me think about oftentimes we are the last ones to party. When the real money is made in the beginning, we afraid of technology sometimes. We don't want no parts to do with it. We don't want to line up with it. We just say we're going to sit back and see what happens. But we had a conversation, you and I, earlier where we talked about, very soon, a lot of this stuff will be heavily regulated as far as the content that we can use that AI is producing. So now, while it's kind of that whole wild, wild west, we need to be creating, writing books. We need to be utilizing AI to help us create things that we can monetize. We need to be doing that right now.
Yeah.
We can't wait until 2050. Now we want to start utilizing AI when everything around us has already developed, and the real money that is to be made is already being made.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when you look at like Facebook and Instagram, when Facebook and Instagram first came out, everybody was seeing everybody's posts, right? But now that it's out and everybody's engaged and into it, now they put restrictions on it where you only see about 10% of the posts that people that people post. I have people tell me all the time, well, I don't see your post, Rick. So I say you have to engage with it, you have to like it, you have to comment on it, or you have to share it. When you do those things, then guess what? You're going to you'll see the post more. So it's going to be different rules. It's going to be different regulations and things like that. So that's what we have to be. We got to be ahead of it. Wild is the wild, wild west. So we can, get position and really capitalize on what's coming down the pipeline.
And monetize it. Say that again, monetize it. Right now, there is no reason why we can't create digital products, or we are not writing and publishing books, or we are not utilizing AI to make, our industries, in your case, it's filmmaking, more efficient. There's no barriers right now. So we absolutely should be doing it.
Yes.
Right. And I don't know if we skipped over this question, but did you foresee any new ways that we can monetize AI in filmmaking?
The thing that I see that we can monetize AI, or how we can monetize AI in filmmaking or content creation, really is just utilizing it to produce more content. One thing that made Tyler Perry successful is that he flooded the market with content. And so that's one of the things that we can do with AI is to really just flood the market with content. Like after we're done with this particular live, we can go back now and we can turn this into small clips and repurpose this content on several platforms, turn it into 60-second clips, 2-minute clips, and, repurpose it that way. So that's one of the things that we really, really have to do.
So as a creative, and I continue to speak to creatives because a lot of my friends are creatives. Where do you see, how do you see AI affecting us in the next, say, 5 to 10 years?
Man, I mean, with the way that AI is moving and how fast it's moving, I mean, I'm really curious to see what's going to come out this year in 2024. You know what I'm saying? Because I think of something like I say, okay, and I was just saying this last year. I was saying, man, I can't wait till AI is advanced enough to where I can just put, words in and it'll edit my video. I could just put footage in and kind of tell it what I want it to do or the message I want to convey, and it'll edit that. And that has happened within months. Like I was just talking about that probably last year in June, and now this year in January, we're here. You know what I'm saying? So we're able to put this video in an AI platform and it'll break it down and re-edit it and turn it into a 12-minute piece, a 5-minute piece, a 2-minute piece. You know what I'm saying? So it's happening. And so in 3 to 5 years, man, I think we're going to really just be able to come up with ideas on what we want to see, put it in the computer, and AI is gonna, like, you probably not gonna have to shoot, interview. Like it's gonna do all of this stuff for you. Now you can go do that, and I think it'll enhance it, but I think it will give you a structure and a framework that that could be created just by from text to video is what it's called, or from text to image, which is what it's called now. You're able to put in text, you're able to write in what you want to see, type that in, and then it'll populate a video. So it's stuff out there that's really like on the cutting edge and that's doing that now.
Yeah,
So
I mean, we're already seeing that.
yeah, I'm excited about where it's going to be in the next 6 months, 6 to 12 months. You know what I'm saying? This year. I hadn't even thought about the next 3 to 5 years because it's like I can barely wrap my mind around what's going on now.
Yeah.
One of the guys that's really been in the AI, a guy named Mike John, a friend of mine, he was just at the CES conference in Vegas. He said they had a robot, an AI robot that DJ'd the party for like 5 minutes. So imagine you going in the club and you got an AI robot that's DJing. And based on a scan or a survey of what people are listening to on their cell phones, because that's where AI pulls information from, it pulls data from your cell phones and from from what's being played on the #1 charts and all of that, right? What's #1 on the charts. So imagine you walk in a club and you got an AI DJ that's DJing based on what people are listening to on their phones and what's #1 on the Billboard charts. Those are the records that it's playing.
And it's funny that you brought that up because at the Kwanzaa event, I had a conversation with your DJ about this very topic. I said, what are you going to do when artificial intelligence begins to DJ parties? And you know what he told me? He said, no, I don't think that's going to happen. We don't always need a DJ. I said,
See, we don't want it to happen because we're comfortable and we want to secure our jobs and the way that we're used to doing things, right? So, another response to that would have been, shit, I'm going to see how I can capitalize on the AI robot. You know what I'm saying? I can get the AI robots out now to 20 clubs and DJ, or have them already set up in 20 clubs. And I sit back at home and make money because the AI robot is DJing.
Yeah. And that's the point that I wanted you to make, is just the opportunities that are now available because of this technology. At the end of the conversation, he said, yeah, I'm gonna really look into kind of how DJing will begin to implement artificial intelligence. I didn't know at that time that they had an AI DJ.
Yeah.
And so that's the kind of thing that we need to be thinking about. None of us should be saying that our industries are off limits. even for me, we have been having this conversation about implementing AI within my business for 2 years now. And what that looks like. And so we're beginning now to implement just kind of that whole business integration, business AI integration into just our workflow and how we handle and support our clients.
So what are some of the things that you're utilizing AI? Like, how is it being integrated in your business?
Well, we are going to start doing, so when we're assessing businesses for proper structuring, part of it is looking at their business in total and making sure it's operating at its most efficiency. And so if there's areas of opportunity and there's software or a platform that can help streamline processes, we are suggesting that technology and implementing it within our business strategy. So, again, it's really just an effort to help businesses become adjacent with the technology, not be afraid of it, not think it's going to come out and get rid of us, but really start to implement it in our daily workflow, from your schedule to responding to emails to really assess the data. That's something that artificial intelligence does really, really well. So if your job consists of reviewing or analyzing data, I can almost assure you that there is AI available to do your job right now. So as corporations and as businesses, the entrepreneurs, we need to be capitalizing on that technology.
We got to.
We here now.
Let's do it. Let's become AI efficient. I mean, AI adjacent.
Be
more efficient.
Yeah.
We have to do that. Yeah.
So we talked a lot about AI tonight. I appreciate you because you have become a source, especially in the conversation around filmmaking and implementing AI in content creation. So I appreciate your time. But I want to talk about our curriculum. I can't let you get off of here without talking about B1, the curriculum.
Okay. Before I say that, I see Regina is in the chat. Regina, what's up, girl? She has a question, and feel free to put any questions you have in the chat. But she says, what are you suggesting they do, the workers who AI have replaced? Which is a good question. The thing that I would say, like, if AI, there's a chance that AI could replace your job, or that that you kind of see where things are going, and there could possibly be a chance that AI could replace your job. The thing that you have to do, right, is you have to, again, become AI adjacent. So you have to start studying AI. And so if I'm doing, let's take, for example, taxes, because AI is affecting taxes. They got AI Turbo. What is it? Turbo? What's the name? Yeah, so AI Turbo with the Turbo taxes. That's what.
And H&R Block is utilizing AI.
Yeah, H&R Block is using AI in their taxes to find different tax credits and tax codes that they could use to, get more money, and so you don't have to owe taxes or pay taxes at the end of the year. So the thing that I would say is learn how AI is being used in these particular areas, because if you become AI efficient in these areas, then you're going to be the one that they keep around, because you're going to have to explain how AI is being used in these particular areas. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I would say. That's why it's so important that you learn it, so you can see it coming down the pipeline. And then you can also look for the opportunities as well. You can look for the threats. Okay, AI is about to eliminate this job right here. Like, as a photographer, right? Now that we can go on Midjourney or Runway ML and things like that to We can go on there to create images. So I got to look at, okay, how can I use my skill, or how can I set myself apart from AI with photography, so it doesn't affect my pockets or my bottom line. You know what I'm saying? As much. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so that's what I would say. It's all about learning, and it's all about seeing the trends and kind of where it's going.
And I would just add to that, and I would say diversify your skill set. I would be thinking, looking at the industry that you're in, what additional services can I implement now with the assistance of AI? What additional can I learn? How can I, again, monetize all of this technology and become more diversified? And so that's what I would say, diversify your skill set.
Yeah, exactly. So you really just got to see where the opportunities are in this world of AI. So you have to learn it, you have to touch it, feel it, and then that way, if you're replaced by AI, then you can utilize other skill sets and create other opportunities for yourself.
Mhm. And so Regina asks, is it the responsibility of the business owners to retain its employees? So
No.
that's a question that has been answered over and over and over before even AI technology was available to consumers. Jobs don't care nothing about you. They don't. And so their job is to protect their bottom line, to be more efficient, and to be more profitable. That's with or without you.
Yeah. So that's what it is at the end of the day, You out here, you in the wild, wild west, you got to fend for yourself. That job is here today, it could be gone tomorrow.
As much as we would like to think, the way we slave for jobs, and I say we, I'm saying the collective, the way we slave for jobs, that they will fight for us, that they will advocate on our behalf. And the reality is, they want to be more efficient, they want to be more profitable, and that's going to be by any means necessary. So that's with or without you. And so if there's anybody that is watching this live that's thinking that corporations have a responsibility to them, just think about an employee that passes away. Does the business stop the next day? It keeps going. As a matter of fact, if it's a well-run business, they got another body to put in that seat within 24 hours. If they got proper succession planning. So we can't rely on businesses to advocate for your positions. That's why you got to start monetizing your skill set.
That's right. You got to. She said, I was hoping you would say yes.
So, y'all know.
Yeah. Well, we don't want to lie to you, Regina. That's the truth.
Oh my goodness. I wonder if Jackie is still on here too, because I was seeing some technologies, artificial intelligence technologies in hairdressing.
Okay, what did you see in hairdressing?
They coming for them too.
What did you see? So you've been telling me a robot gonna be able to do your hair?
A couple things. Yeah, they have artificial technology now that will assess your scalp and the health of your hair, create treatment plans, and those are things that you're depending on your stylist to do. They got, what you say, technology? Oh, with the lashes. Yeah, they got lash robots that will do your lashes as much as I pay for lashes.
Really?
They got AI robots that are implementing those services now too. And so it's only a short time. And like I said, the way artificial intelligence is evolving, the speed in which it's developing, within 6 months, we probably gonna start seeing some of the things that we're not seeing today. So Regina says shampoo.
Yeah, shampoo the hair too.
Yeah,
so that's what I'm saying. It's moving so fast. I'm just focusing on it from my industry, which is film. but it's so much that's happening and moving so fast. You really just need to focus on it from your industry, and see, how you can leverage it.
Mhm. I agree. So, any final AI thoughts, any words of wisdom, any best practices that we should be implementing?
Yeah, I would say one best practice and something that I do all the time when you're scrolling on Facebook and you're scrolling on Instagram and you see these AI classes, these AI workshops that are popping up, click on it and register for it. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Because right now, a lot of this information is free, just like the introduction of it. So a lot of these introductions are free and they're introducing you to it so that they can sell you on a different product. But just, log in and listen to it,
Mhm.
and just kind of see where it's going, see if anything speaks to you, see if anything, resonates with you. So that's what I would say. Just, be a junkie for this information. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? When you laughing at these crazy videos on TikTok, that nephew Tommy and all, they're playing pranks. Do some work on that too, because you're gonna see some AI ads and things like that pop up. So just click in there and then too, you may get a fake phone number because they're gonna call you, boy. Whew. You may want to put one of your bet lines in there and one of your emails that you don't use as much. They're
Mhm.
gonna call you and they're gonna try to sell you on whatever it is they have to sell. But they're
Yeah.
also gonna give you some free information that you can really use about AI. So,
And I know Google is offering some classes right now in AI technology and some entry level certifications. So if you're interested, be sure to check out Google Learning's platform as well. Okay.
mhm. Yeah,
She said the crazy thing is that we could have sworn that when 2000 was approaching, that we thought that we were going to see robots like our robot.
yeah. Well, I tell you what, you're getting ready to see them now.
Right. And again, I just want to reiterate that just within the last 5 years, AI technology was available on a consumer level, but corporations and businesses, especially in China, have been utilizing artificial intelligence in the form of robots for decades. To your point about Geoffrey Hinton, he did study AI in the 70s, but he got a PhD in the 70s. Okay.
Wow.
And so this technology has been around. It just was not available on a consumer level.
Yeah,
So,
but now,
mhm,
yeah, now certain colleges are offering degrees in
mhm.
uh in AI. I think it's under what, computer science
Computer
or
science. Yeah.
yeah, so it's under computer science, but you can actually get a bachelor's degree or master's degree or a doctorate degree from
And
accredited universities
mhm,
in the area or under the study of AI. So if I was going to school, that's what I would invest my money in right now.
mhm.
Because a
And
lot of times, like, we don't even use the degrees for, like, most people are not in the field. So if they got a degree in, education, they 9 times out of 10, they probably not even in that field. If they got a degree in accounting, 9 times out of 10, they using that degree in that particular field. So a lot of times people get degrees, but guess what? They're not using it in that area. They ventured off into something else.
mhm, mhm. So again, this may be a good time to diversify. It
Hmm.
may be a good time to go back. If you have something like a computer science degree, you want to go back to get certified to get some additional training within artificial intelligence. Now is a good time, and that's the easy transition from any business degree as well.
Hmm. Yep, it is. It is. So we just gotta, start studying and reading, researching, and get prepared.
Mhm. It says wait staff is almost 100% robots in Asian market. Absolutely right. one of the things that I know I have found within my studying of AI is that back in 2017, the president of China said that he anticipates by 2025 that China would lead the market in artificial intelligence and be fully automated. And the reason I believe that that is true is because in order for AI to work efficiently, it has to have data. It's data that drives AI to work. So when we are sitting in front of our iPads, we're sitting in front of our computers, we have our phones in our pockets, we're walking past security cameras, all of those are data points. So it's pulling data constantly and feeding the AI technology. So one thing that China has really, really done well is the accumulation of data. Right? And that's the advantage, unfortunately, that they have on the United States. The United States has the technology, but China has the data. So now all they need is the technology. And we know how they are advancing in technology, right? So now they got the technology and they got the data. So I think that we will see them being what we're calling an AI superpower. And that's a great book too to read if anybody is reading, interested in reading up on AI. It's called AI Superpower by Kai-Fu Lee. And he talks a lot about that. China is going to dominate the artificial intelligence area. All right. So cool. B1 the curriculum.
B1 the curriculum. Let's go.
Oh wait. So before we transition, real quick, here go a cheap plug. So you are working on releasing your Filmmakers and Creatives Academy, and you are constantly doing consultations for creatives, for filmmakers, people interested in making films. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, so I have a 4-part consultation workshop, if you will, that I'm incorporated AI into. So it's a 4-part production or content creation that addresses these areas. Because if you're doing content creation or you're producing a film, these are the 4 areas that you primarily are going to kind of navigate through. So the first being pre-production. Pre-production is the writing of the script or the writing of, the treatment for your content creation piece. So we talk about that, and we talk about different sources, different tools on how you can utilize AI in that. The other thing is also the next thing is production. So the production of it is actually the recording of it. So if you're going live, this could also be content that could be used or repurposed. Or if you're going to shoot a film or a documentary or just content, which cameras to use, how does AI work with these cameras, and how to produce the best footage, or the best quality footage, from lighting to microphones to all of that, and then how to go in and post-production, how to go in and enhance these things, how to go in and enhance the audio, how to go in and enhance the lighting. That's the post-production part of the thing, which is the third component, which is post-production, the editing, and how to utilize these AI platforms to edit the content that you've shot. And then the last is distribution. So where would this content live? Is it going to live on YouTube? Is it going to live on Instagram? Is it going to live on Tubi? Is it going to, are you going to go after the Netflix deal or some of those deals? Or are you going to go after the bigger budget Lionsgate deal and, hit a smash home run with that? So, so those are the 4 areas: pre-production, production, post-production, and then distribution. So you can email me at b1themovie@gmail.com for more information on that, and we can share some of those tools and some of those resources and when the next class will be and how you can opt in and be a part of the be a part of this school and really get information from this.
Okay. And they can also go to b1themovie.com. They can contact you there as well. And then you are at Rick Mathis, RIC Mathis, on all social media platforms to reach out to you. And I encourage everybody to stop right this second and go follow Dr. Rick Mathis. So he's at Rick Mathis on all social media platforms.
Thank
and
you.
B1 the movie. And
Yeah.
B1.
And B1 the movie. Definitely.
All right, now I'm gonna try 3 times to talk about B1 the curriculum.
Let's go. B1 the curriculum. With my co-author, Isha Mathis.
Hey.
So man, we wrote B1 the curriculum, man, and we utilize AI. We utilize a lot of AI tools, to kind of research and see what would be good and what people would be receptive to. So B1 the curriculum mirrors B1 the movie in that we have actual QR codes in B1 the curriculum that if you scan, it'll take you to a clip or a scene in the movie that expounds on what this particular exercise in B1 the curriculum is about. We also have QR codes in B1 the movie that if you scan, it'll take you to B1 the curriculum, take you to that page, to that exercise. You know what I'm saying? So it's broken up into 5 parts, just as B1 the movie is. It's broken up into 5 different episodes. And we'll share some of the exercises that people can experience and can see in B1 the curriculum.
Mm-hmm. So you mentioned the curriculum being broken down into 5 sections. Can you talk about the 5 sections and how it correlates with the film?
Yeah, so there's 5 different episodes in the film where we touch on various things. So in episode 1, we talk about the Constitution and we talk about creating a Black Constitution. So in B1 the curriculum, and that first exercise, we talk about the Constitution and we talk about creating a Black Constitution, and we talk about we the people in the Constitution. Well, we have we the family, where the family actually creates their own Constitution, creates their own amendments, have weekly meetings or monthly meetings where they address these amendments and they actually build on things and set goals to achieve certain things as a family and as a team.
Mm-hmm.
This could be your blood family, or this could be your adopted family. You know what I'm saying? Because I know family a little crazy right now. So sometimes we have to make our own family and create our own family, create our own tribe. So we can do that too with B1 the curriculum. And, we the family having that constitution that we create. So in episode 1, we talk about that. In episode 2, we shift to media. You know what I'm saying? Because episode 2 asks this question: what role does media play when it comes to putting Black people first? Well, as you and I know, when you look at media, the music right now really got Black people in the chokehold. We really doing some strange things because of this music. You know what I'm saying? Glorifying killing, twerking. You know what I'm saying? We're doing all this crazy stuff that back in the day we would have never done, because we are people of pride. We are esteemed people, and we would never do that. We would never make the family name look like
and dishonor ourselves.
Yeah, but now we're hypnotized, or they are, because I'm not hypnotized to this, but hypnotized by this crazy music. You know what I'm saying? And what's being seen in the movies and what's being promoted on social media. So we really address those things in episode 2 and part 2 of the curriculum, where we have episodes where we say, or exercises where we say, hey, we're going to take a 40-day social media fast. What does that look like as from a personal aspect? What does that look like if you're a business owner? Because that's 2 different things. If you're a business owner, you may use social media to to promote your business or to sell your business. You know what I'm saying? So one of the things, and this was adapted by China, who's all in the film, because she's a business owner, but she did a 40-day social media fast. And what that fast consisted of was not scrolling on social media. So she could go and post about her business on social media, but she couldn't scroll. She couldn't scroll on social media. She just could post on social media. So those are some of the things that we touch on in episode 2 or section 2 of the curriculum of B1, the curriculum. Episode 3, we talk about episode 3 is what is it? Is it racist for black people to put black people first? No, that's episode 4.
Before.
Episode 3, I just had a brain freeze.
No,
Now,
you're right.
episode 3, we have exercises related to affluent black people. No, why do other races feel threatened when black people talk about putting black people first? That's episode 3. Why do other races feel threatened when black people simply talk about putting black people first? And the reason why other races feel threatened is because they know our power. So,
Post that question in the chat.
yeah. So in episode 3, that's what we focus on. We focus on our power. We focus on the great things that black families have done together, from the King family to the Russell family, the Herman Russell family, right here in Atlanta. They used to bail Martin Luther King out of jail when, they had these protests. And back in the day when King, was doing these protests, Herman Russell had a swimming pool in his backyard. I think this was like the 60s, the 50s, 60s. He got pictures of Martin Luther King in his swimming pool in his backyard right here at Collier Heights, in the Collier Heights neighborhood, which is a predominant black neighborhood. And that was one of the first affluent black neighborhoods in Atlanta, Georgia for black people. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we talk about in episode number 3 or exercise number 3 is why do other races feel threatened? They feel threatened because they know our power and they know how great we are. You know what I'm saying? So we touch on that. In episode 4, why do other races, is it racist to put black first? Of course, no, it's not racist to put black first, because at the end of the day, when you look at the definition of being racist, what does it mean to be racist? It means utilizing your resources and your power to suppress another race. Whereas black people, we don't have the resources, we don't have the power to suppress another race. We are the ones that are being suppressed. No, we can't be racist, and no, it's not racist to simply put black people first. It's the right thing to do. It's the smart thing to do, to put black people first. So in that episode, in that exercise in episode 4, we touch on self-preservation, self-love, and self-care. Self-preservation meaning, how do we preserve the family? You know what I'm saying? Self-love and self-care. How do we take care of ourselves so that we can preserve the family? And one of the exercises in that is there's a Hawaiian prayer called the Ho'oponopono prayer, where it starts with, I love myself. And you hug yourself and you tell yourself you love yourself. And it goes on to, I forgive myself. I forgive myself for the wrongdoings, for the shortcomings, for how I may have looked at myself as being imperfect. You know what I'm saying? And then it goes on to, I apologize. You know what I'm saying? I apologize for anything that I may have thought, anything that I may have done to make myself feel smaller than I actually am, when I know that I am God's creation and I'm a blessing to this universe. And there's something that I can do that no other person on this planet can do. And if I just tap into my being and who I am, then I can get in tune and get on board with what that is. You know what I'm saying? And then the last thing is just saying, I'm thankful. I'm thankful for me. I'm thankful for the blessings that I have. I'm thankful for the person that I am. And that's a Hawaiian prayer called the Ho'oponopono prayer. You know what I'm saying? We talk about that in the book, in the curriculum.
Yeah.
And then the last thing is, what is it going to take for Black people to put our children first, our health first, and relationships first?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So we talk about different relationship exercises we can do. We talk about eating right. There's different exercises in there. We talk about utilizing yoga as an exercise to get in tune and get in tune with our body. We talk about, sound therapy and sound bathing, you know what I'm saying? Because that's very therapeutic when you do the crystal bowls and you listen to that soothes your spirit and that kind of calms you and gets you, on the right vibe and get you in tune so that you can go out in this world and be great and be successful. So those are some of the exercises that we talk about in B1, the curriculum.
Thank you. I'm so excited about the curriculum. I'm excited to get it in the hands of educators and activists and families, so that way we can begin to, like I said, just put ourselves first, whether it's establishing a family constitution or building a business plan for our family in order to secure our legacy. Being able to really take some things that are actionable. There's nothing too big, within the curriculum. They are all very bite-sized things that we can begin to do and implement today, really, so we can get on code and put ourselves first.
So visit B1 the movie. You can purchase your curriculum today. You can purchase B1 the movie, and you can utilize this with your family for Black History Month. It's time to get on code, people. It's time to put Black first. Let's do it. And at the end of the day, like Herman Moore used to say on Magic 95 in Valdosta, Georgia, be proud of your Blackness. It's time for us to be proud of our Blackness, people. You know what I'm saying? It's time for us to put us first.
So please check out b1themovie.com. Please get the film today. Order your copy today. You will be blessed by the film. I want you to order 2 copies, one for your family and one for somebody else's copy. Dr. Mathis is very humble around this film. But like I told him a year ago, this film is generation changing. It's culture shifting. You need to have it part of your library. You need to have it a part of your family. We need to start having conversations. You need this curriculum to start to get some things put into place, because this is our time, y'all. This is our season. The tide is shifting in a really, really big way. We talked about that wealth transfer that's taking place. I said this is the largest wealth transfer in history. Okay? And we are going to be on the benefiting side of the people. Our people. Black people. B1 people.
B1 people. That's right. So support us at B1 the movie. It's a digital copy of the film. So there's a digital version as well as a physical copy, because we don't want to put everything on this digital platform and then somebody go in and click a button and it's deleted. We want people to have physical copies as well as a digital copy. But keep this physical copy as a collector's item. You know what I mean? Put it in your stash so you can have it. So that's what we're doing. B1 the movie, people.
And keep an eye out for the B1 experience coming to your city. If you would like us to come and you would like to host a screening of B1 the movie and have us come and kind of share and bring the curriculum and kind of host. Rick has done a great job at curating just a whole event around this movement. And so if you are interested, please reach out, b1themovie.com.
Yeah, b1themovie@gmail.com is also, you can email us there, and you can become a B1 ambassador. You know what I'm saying? Become a B1 ambassador at b1themovie@gmail.com. Email us there and get on board, people. Let's do it for the kids. Let's do it for the next generation.
That's right. Say that again. And if you cannot, for whatever reason, host a B1 experience, please reach out to us to be a B1 ambassador, to support us and to begin to have these conversations within your community, within your circles.
Yeah.
So, B1 people, we out. Thank you, Dr. Matt.
Thank you. Thanks for your time, people. I enjoyed it. Love you.
All right. Love you. Peace.